Part 1. The Perfect Life. My name is Michael Gardner. I'm 43 years old, and for most of my adult life, I've considered myself a lucky man. If you'd asked me a year ago whether I was happy, I'd have told you yes. No hesitation. I had everything I thought defined a good life: a steady job, a cozy house in a quiet neighborhood on the northwest side of Chicago, a wife who'd stood by me through every storm, and a 12-year-old son who made me proud every day. Sarah and I had been together for 15 years. 15 years. That's a long time, longer than most of my friends' marriages lasted. I used to wear that number like a badge of honor. I still remember the first time I saw her. It was one of those miserable, wet Chicago evenings when the city feels like a gray, endless sponge. I ducked into a small coffee shop on Lakeview to escape the rain. She was there, sitting alone by the window with a book in her hand. Hair tied back, a strand loose over her cheek. She wasn't dressed to impress anyone. Jeans, an oversized sweater, but she had this calm presence, like she belonged in that rainy corner of the world. I don't know why I said what I did. Is the coffee here really as good as they say? She looked up, startled, then smiled. This small, genuine smile that made the whole damn coffee shop feel warm. Depends who they are, she said. That was Sarah. Smart, witty, a little guarded, but willing to let you in if you tried hard enough. 2 years later, we were married. 3 after that, we had Alex. Our life wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. Monday through Friday, I worked as a mid-level manager at an insurance company downtown. My days were predictable: train rides, meetings, paperwork, a sandwich at my desk. I didn't mind. There was a strange comfort in routine. Evenings were better. Sarah would work remotely on her accounting projects, usually at the kitchen table, laptop glowing next to a half-empty mug of tea. I'd help Alex with homework. Then maybe we'd watch a movie. Sometimes all three of us crammed onto the couch. Weekends meant errands: grocery shopping at Mariano's, Alex's soccer games, an occasional barbecue with our neighbors. Once a month, we'd visit my parents in the suburbs, Sarah always bringing her famous banana bread that my mother pretended was almost as good as mine. It wasn't a movie kind of marriage, but I didn't need fireworks. I just wanted a partner, a teammate. And for 15 years, I thought that's what we were. Part 2. The First Cracks. The first cracks were so small, I almost missed them. Sarah started going to bed later than me. At first, I thought it was work. She'd been taking on extra projects, and sometimes deadlines kept her up. But it became a pattern. I'd wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and see the soft glow of her phone from the kitchen. She'd be sitting there in her robe, shoulders hunched, scrolling or typing quickly. "Can't sleep," she'd say if I asked. "Just catching up on emails." "Go back to bed." And I did. Then came the meetings. Late client calls. Quick drinks with a colleague. Nothing out of the ordinary. She worked with a lot of small business owners, and sometimes their hours were weird. But she'd come home later than usual. One night, she smelled faintly of cologne. Not hers. Not mine. New shampoo. I joked, trying to sound casual. She paused, then smiled. Something like that. I laughed with her. But something inside me had already shifted. It wasn't just that. She started dressing differently. Not drastically, but I noticed new blouses, softer shades of lipstick, heels she hadn't worn in years. I told myself I was imagining things. People change. Women change. But it wasn't just her clothes. It was her. She'd grown distant. When I kissed her on the cheek, she'd flinch, like I'd startled her. When I made dumb jokes at dinner, she'd give me a polite smile instead of that eye-rolling laugh I loved. Once, I tried to bring it up. "Is everything okay with you?" I asked one evening while Alex was at a friend's house. Sarah blinked at me, like I'd spoken in another language. "Of course." "What?" "I don't know. You seem off." She frowned. "I'm just tired, Mike. Work's been crazy." That was it. Conversation over. I nodded and pretended to accept it. But something heavy had settled in my chest, and it wouldn't leave. Part 3. The Investigation. The night that changed everything didn't start dramatically. Sarah had gone upstairs for a shower, leaving her phone on the kitchen counter. Normally, I wouldn't touch it. I'm not the snooping type. But when the screen lit up, I saw the message. I can't wait to see you again. What happened last time was incredible. My body went cold. I didn't know who sent it. No name showed up on the preview, but I didn't need a name. When she came back downstairs, I was sitting on the couch, the phone in my hand. Sarah, I said, my voice calm but trembling. We need to talk. Her eyes dropped to the phone. Her face drained of color. You went through my messages? Who is this? I demanded. Who writes you things like that? She opened her mouth, closed it, then finally said, It's not what you think. I laughed, harsh, bitter. Really? Because it looks exactly like what I think. She walked past me, sat down across the room, and stared at her hands. It's a private investigator, she said finally. I blinked. What? I hired him. His name's Jonathan Miller. He's helping me with Daniel. Daniel, her brother, the black sheep of her family. Always in trouble, always needing bailouts. I knew he'd gotten into some kind of mess again, but Sarah rarely gave me details. She explained, Daniel owed a lot of money to dangerous people. She couldn't go to the police, so she'd hired Miller to help extract him from whatever hole he'd dug. And you couldn't tell me? I asked. I didn't want to drag you into it. It's not your problem. But all I could think about was that message. What happened last time was incredible. That's not how you talk to a private investigator. Sarah, I said, my voice low. Are you sleeping with him? Her head snapped up. No. But her eyes told a different story. That night, after she went to bed, I scrolled through her messages. There were more. You make my evenings special. I can't stop thinking about you. My heart pounded with each one. The next morning, I made a decision. I needed the truth. Part 4. The Truth. Jonathan Miller's office was easy to find. A small, shabby building near an old warehouse. He opened the door wearing jeans and a button-down shirt. He was tall, mid-50s, graying at the temples. The kind of man you wouldn't look at twice on the street. You're Jonathan Miller? I asked. Yes. Can I help you? I'm Michael Gardner, Sarah's husband. His expression changed. He knew exactly why I was there. We sat at a small table in his office. He didn't offer me coffee. I want the truth, I said. Are you having an affair with my wife? He looked at me for a long moment. Then he sighed. Yes. The word hit me like a punch to the gut. How long? A few months. He told me everything. How it started innocently. Dinners to discuss Daniel. Long conversations. How she'd been lonely. How one night, they crossed a line. She told me she loves you, he said. But she felt lost. And I was there. I stood. My hands shook. Stay away from her. And I left. When I got home, Sarah was waiting at the kitchen table. We need to talk, she said softly. I already know, I told her. Her face crumpled. She didn't deny it. Yes, she whispered. It's true. Why? My voice cracked. She looked at me through tears. Because I felt like we lost each other, Mike. We became roommates. I didn't feel like I mattered anymore. And he was there when I was drowning. Her words hurt worse than the betrayal. I didn't respond. Couldn't. That night, I stood by the window, staring at the city lights. Our perfect marriage was dead. The end. Now I know the truth. She cheated. Not because she didn't love me, but because somewhere along the way, we lost each other. Can I forgive her? I don't know. But I can't keep living in a lie.